Equity release can be an appealing option, but one of the most common worries is how a lifetime mortgage affects an heir's inheritance tax. The pros of equity release are having some comfort to your retirement, maybe for a dream holiday, house renovations, or even a medical emergency. It allows you to unlock some of that increased value or equity from your property. With certain plans, you won't have monthly repayments hanging over your head. Instead, everything gets squared off, typically when you move into a care facility or pass away. There are two types of equity release. The first is a lifetime mortgage. This is quite popular because it gives you a lot of control over the borrowed amount. And if you prefer flexibility, there's an option known as a drawdown, which lets you take out money as and when you need it. The second path is the home reversion plans. Now, it's a bit different and it caters to a particular set of preferences. The lender will recoup their money by selling your property once you're moved into long-term care or passed away. But if your heirs want to retain the home, they can settle the borrowed amount and keep the property. Inheritance tax is a bit like a puzzle where you need to fit all the pieces representing your assets, your property's equity, the money you've saved over the years, your investments, and so on to make the full jigsaw. Now, once you've got that picture, any debts or loans you have, like the amount you might borrow through equity release, are deducted. This subtraction can lead to a reduction in inheritance tax that your heirs have to pay. Here's how equity release ties into this equation. Your home, in many cases, is the most significant piece of that puzzle I'm talking about. So by choosing to release equity, you're essentially altering the size and shape of that piece. This act can have a domino effect, possibly reducing the inheritance tax your heirs would face. By borrowing against your home's value, you're adjusting its net worth. When the property is eventually sold to square off that equity loan, it tweaks the final inheritance, which in turn has repercussions on the inheritance tax calculation. Now, while this might sound a bit complex, there's a silver lining. There's this threshold known as the nil rate band. Any inheritance below this benchmark remains untouched by the taxman, but go beyond this and a 40% tax rate gets applied. As of now, this cap is 325 grand for individuals or a generous 650 grand for couples. While the equity release does alter the inheritance landscape, many plans offer a safety net known as inheritance protection, and this feature allows you to earmark or set aside a definite portion of your home's value for your heirs so that you can make sure that they get something. But, and this is important, this safeguarded portion isn't immune to taxes. Alternatively, if you like to play it safe, you can choose to regularly repay some or all of the interest on your equity release loan so that your heirs have a more significant chunk left for them. Remember that a lifetime mortgage, by virtue of being anchored to your home, can influence its eventual value. This change in turn affects the inheritance that you pass on and the associated tax implications. Given the intricacies involved, it's always good to talk to an equity release expert just to guide you through. If you're interested in seeing if you could get a home equity loan, simply click the link below the video and fill out the short form. It contains some short questions like your date of birth and property value, and then it'll give you access to quotes tailored to your circumstance. It's totally free to fill out, and of course it won't affect your credit score.